the first half, I was just trying to get a feel with how they were going to play me, and they were doubling a lot. A lot of the shots that I did take, I didn't necessarily like. I feel like it was shots that they wanted me to take. In the second half, I knew that I had to be aggressive as much as possible, to give my teammates, confidence and give us a chance to go on a run and, pull out a win. So, I just want to stay aggressive, stay confident. Once I seen one go down, it was over.
To have the second half you had, but then to have 8 in double figures in this win, what's that say?
It means I'm not doing it by myself. I'll never take all the credit for it because there's 14 other guys who are all stepping up. We all know our game has elevated. John's out. We'll be out for a while. We're not making an excuse about it. We're accepting what we have. We're running with what we have, and it's always next man up. So Thomas and Tim are doing a great job of running the PG position. Everybody's elevating their game. This is the time of the year in which we need to do so to take advantage right before All-Star.
Are you still trying to find the balance of playing without John, or since he's been out for 13 games?
We already know. We faced a situation earlier in the year. We had some ups and downs in that as well. But now we got it pretty much figured out. We're 50, almost 60 games in, so we pretty much know what we need to do and how we need to play each night.
Right. Can't pair with John is now, but do you think the last couple of years against the NBA kind of reassuring that you guys can still beat anybody without John?
Yeah, we're still confident in ourselves, man. We're confident in who we have and and the type of team we are. The last 3 games are pretty much picture perfect of the type of team we want to be and who we need to be moving forward. So, John is a great player. We need him for sure, and at the same time, reality is what it is. He's not here, so we just got to take advantage of what we have, and everybody's stepping up, everybody's coming in and getting to work and get better every day, and we're accepting the challenge.
Brett, do you look forward, do you look ahead on the schedule and just see how challenging in the upcoming month maybe?
No, because we played 3 challenging games just now. We feel like OKC was a tough one. Tonight was a tough one for sure. Atlanta was a tough one. They kicked our butt last time. So, we don't look too far ahead. We take it a game at a time. We know our schedule gets tougher. Teams are, we're playing a lot of great teams, down the stretch, which is not going to do anything to prepare us moving forward. But, we take it a game at a time.
What do you think you can learn about this team without John, especially going forward, if you continue to play the way you have the last 3 games?
I don't know. Like I said before, we just take it a game at a time. We're getting better every day. We're enjoying the process, enjoying the moment of it. We want John to take his time with his recovery, man, because we want him back 100%, not 85 or 90, straight 100. So we want him to take his time, and when he comes back, he comes back. When to the end, we're going to hold him down.
Has making the All-Star team affected your style of play, your confidence in sort of
not really. I feel like I would still be aggressive and still play the same. I think the only thing it probably did do was it lifted a little bit of a burden off my shoulders a little bit. That was one of my goals coming into the year, and even in previous years, but to finally be able to have it happen, that's a great achievement, and something I don't have to think about or go out and try to prove. I can just play freely and just enjoy the process, enjoy the moment.
From that Atlanta game when you get 40 guys, get 40 assists, it feels like the ball momentum is contagious at this point. Does it feel just you guys just in the moment with the passing?
Everybody eats. Everybody eats. Everybody eats. That's our motto, man. Everybody eats when we move the ball. But it starts on defense. We're all collectively on the same page defensively. We're moving. We get out in transition. Get some easy ones, and then we're moving it. That's fun basketball. When everybody gets a touch, everybody gets shots. It makes life easier. It keeps the locker room, close. It keeps our camaraderie going, and at the same time, that's the type of team we need to be in order for us to be successful.
Give any thought to the 3-point contest of the All-Star game yet?
I got to bring it home. Start practicing next week already. I told myself, I owe myself. I was a little skeptical of doing it again because my heart got broken last time. I'm more mentally prepared this time.
Brad, how important was the lift you guys got from the bench tonight? They outscored them 44-23 the second one.
It was crucial. They got out to a great start on us. I think it was 10 plus points or whatever it was. And, it was getting ugly for a minute, but our bench came in with great energy. And I think that's something that that we feed off of. That's something that we constantly need, because there's going to be nights where we don't get off to great starts. And we need them to pick us up, and they did that tonight. So we definitely got to give them the credit, as much as possible, because they came in and fought hard, and battled us back into the game. The Stars took it over and closed it out.
Welcome back to another episode of The Focus. It's been another 7 days since the sports have continued in the world, and we are back. And I just can't with Cardell rolling his eyes as soon as we start.
Let's wait till you just get to it. What you gonna do?
I mean, you see what I got on, just a little bit. I'm gonna take it easy on you guys today, because this is gonna happen all summer long. All summer long. All I'm gonna say, I'm gonna just walk in the room and say "Fly Eagles Fly," and I just need everybody to like bow or something. That should like work.
Wow.
But we have a jam-packed show today. Of course, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We got a little bit of NBA, talk about the Wizards, who are on a hot streak currently. Trade deadline's coming up for the NBA as well, so there's a lot to talk about. And of course, we always have the best guests always. So of course, without further ado, Wilson.
Like, look, we're going to make this permanent switch. I'm so happy I didn't have to talk to start the show.
I can do it as long as I can. I'm gonna need some music though. I'm gonna get the Fly Eagles Fly.
You need music to open the show?
Yeah, so every time I open the show, we play Fly Eagles Fly, and then I come on the screen.
It's your day, so I'm not gonna mess with you right now.
I appreciate it.
You got it. I'm gonna respond next week.
That's cool, because this is all summer. That's cool.
Wow. Hey, Cardell, she says she needs music.
I told you, Dave Chappelle, Rick James. She's on that tip right now.
Good luck, Damo.
Sorry, guys.
Good luck to you. All right, but as Octavia said, we are joined tonight by two very special guests from the Premier Youth Basketball League. That's the PYBL. If you don't know what that is, you're definitely missing out on quite a lot. So I just want to welcome to the show James and Taryn Parker.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, how you guys doing?
So thank you guys so very much for joining us. We truly appreciate it. Know you guys were, in the studio earlier today. So second time in the studio. Hopefully you guys saved a little bit of talking time for us as well. So just looking over, got a chance to do a little bit of homework. One of the first things that stood out to me before I pass it on to Cardell, playing time. This is something that just had me dying, and I loved it at the same time. Quick little note on your site that it said it should be earned, which obviously everybody here agrees with. But how often has that question been asked to you guys? And are you shocked when you do hear it?
Well, I mean, every season someone asks, you know what I'm saying? So weekly, probably on a weekly basis, they still say it. But because we have it on the website, it really doesn't make a difference. You can refer back to that. And we said from day one, playing time is not guaranteed. This is high-level basketball, so it's not rec league where everybody is promised this amount of time. You got to earn everything you get in our league. There's a lot of very talented players, and you choose to play on the team that you play on. We don't put you on the team. So it was your decision to go where you go, and parents just got to deal with it. You can't switch teams in our league. So once you play a game, you can't go to any other team. You got to stay where you are. We want these kids to get ready for the high school level. So that being said, you can't switch teams. You just got to find a way to deal with it. You got to do more in practice, do more in games, talk to your coach and see what needs to be done for you to get on the floor more. Mommy and daddy can't help you with us.
I think one of the things that we've been able to distinguish between the league is that this is the year that 7th, 8th grade year is when players kind of emerge, and you kind of see the kids who are going to be those standout high school players. It becomes playing basketball between being basketball players. And at the middle school level, everyone says, oh, no, you can't rank them in middle school, or, you can't really determine where they're going to be. But with our league, we're able to see some of the best basketball players at our area. Like those next kids, I would say 75% of them come through our league. So about 90. About 90 come through the league now. So to say, oh well, he's a star on our our Boys and Girls Club, saying, well, that's a Boys and Girls Club. In this situation, you're playing against the best of the best. What our league is doing is pretty much molding those players that go on to be the IAC and the WCAC and MAC players. So you'll see, in our league, you'll see the next point guard for Paul the Six. You'll see the next point guard for DeMatha, or the next big man for PBI. Like, that's not unlikely. Like, for us, that's most of the league. It's normal.
And to clear that up, we do not do rankings. We don't believe in that at all. I think it's kind of ridiculous at times to rank kids this young. We just say, this kid plays shooting guard, you play shooting guard, go at them and see who's better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because rankings is, first of all, they do national rankings, and nobody on the West Coast is in a ranking. So how you have a national ranking when it's just like people from New York, North Carolina, and Maryland rank? So they're ridiculous to start, but I don't really see how you can do it. Period.
I feel the same. It's impossible. Plus, you can't see every kid.
You can't see every. There's no way to see every kid.
It's impossible.
There's no way at all.
We tell parents that on our show, probably on a weekly basis, like, you can go and pay for these $500 camps, but what they're going to do is your money is help funding the kids that they really want to see. So when you get there and it's time for, the games, the games where they put the 5-on-5, your kid's going to be in the back corner. And they're going to have those 10 kids that they know that they want to see going head-to-head, and your kid will get a participation T-shirt at the end of the day.
They do a 300-player camp in 2 days. How do you evaluate 300 players in 2 days? Yeah, exactly. So what you do is you put all the top kids on the same teams and just have them play against each other, and the other kids that paid their money, you throw them off somewhere and give them a shirt at the end and say, thanks for coming.
This is true.
These are all facts being shared. And we love that here. Cardell?
I want to start at the beginning. What was your motivation to start the league, just to begin with?
Well, the motivation was, my lovely wife here. It was I had the idea for the league years ago, but it was kind of a situation where people pulling each other down, telling me it's not going to work because the AU programs will never sign on, they'll never do this, never do that. And I came home one day, we all do it, the angry black man syndrome. Life ain't doing this, ain't doing that. And you know what I'm saying? I got an idea to do this. And she was like, let's do it. Let's try it out, see what happens. And it kind of worked out. But being from PG County, middle school basketball wasn't big at the time, still really as big as it should be. So, for those kids, it really wasn't a lot going on. And the top kids didn't have competition during basketball season, which is the winter. You waited basically till spring. And you guys know this from AU basketball. If you're on a good AU team, you play up in the wintertime. You play your age group in the spring. But if you're in the 8th grade, there's nobody to play up against because the better kids that age up are playing high school ball. So you're basically essentially just waiting around, scoring 40 points a game in your middle school league with nothing to do. So we put together a league for the top kids in each area, really they can go at each other. And as a high school coach at the time, I was coaching at Friendly High School, JV coach there. It was a league where high school coaches can see the kids on a regular basis. Kids can get exposure on a regular basis, play against other top kids with, like-minded ideas of what they want to do in basketball. And it just grew. And then once the league did good in the wintertime, people said, well, how about you do it in the summer? We want to keep this going. So we kind of figured a way to do it, even though it's AU season. So in the summertime, we play during the week, because the AU tournaments are during the weekend, so it's kind of worked out. And we started with 6 teams 5 years ago. This is our 5th year. We're at, 47? 47 teams. We started with 6 teams, 60 players. Now we're at 47 teams, 500 kids. We stretch from Frederick, Maryland to to Fauquier County now, to Fauquier County and everywhere in between. So it's kind of an outlet for those top kids to play and get better.
So to go back on what he said, it was not after we got married. He sent me the idea for the league probably after our 3rd date. So let's clear that up. And he lucked up. I tell him all the time, if you married anybody else, this league would have not happened. He happens to get a sports management major. I went to Mason, so I had the background. It was something that I was interested in. So, I looked it over. I think he sent it that first time, and we waited. We got married. And then I said, one day, we have to do this. Like, it's no reason why it can't work. And, we just kind of stuck through. And
I sent her the same information I sent to a lot of other people, you know what I'm saying? But she was the one that was like, okay, let's do it. And she was the one I needed to say, let's do it, out of the people I sent it to. So it kind of worked from there.
Okay. When I was coming up, the main thing was to play Boys and Girls Club or rec league to try to get noticed by high schools and whatnot. Now with your league, do you feel that has it replaced that, so to speak?
Well, kind of, Boys and Girls Club kind of started dying down like around maybe 06, 07, because I started off coaching Boys Club in like 02, 03 when it was still strong. Like I grew up playing boys club and rec ball, AAU, whatever. So it kind of died down about 06, and kids, it wasn't cool to play boys club no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just sat around, people played CYO, or they played for their middle school league, which wasn't really good at the time. And there was no competition for the top kids. There was nowhere for them to play really and get better. You know, they're saying I scored 35 today, I scored 40 today. And what is that doing for a kid in his growth?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What is that doing for a kid in his growth? And as a coach, you look at that, you want to see these kids and evaluate them at a high level playing against somebody that's good so you can see if you want this kid in your program. I think part of what we've done is really help the high school programs really weed out the kids that shouldn't be there because these mixtapes are liars.
Yes, they are.
These mixtapes are liars, you know what I'm saying? So the mixtapes, and these kids look real good on tape, and there's a lot of kids that look good on tape, but when you put that ball out there and you play in a high level situation, you know, so we play with shot clocks, high school rules, and you're playing against a kid that's just as good as you, how are you going to play? And with our league, you get that done, and I think that's what we've done. We've done a good job of really showcasing who the best kids are, who the standouts are.
I think we've also done a good job of preparing them for high school. One of the things, in addition to the shot clock, we also do our in-game stats. So, you know, you're getting the stats after every quarter or every halftime?
You get stats halftime.
At halftime and in the game. We also do media days. We do photo shoots. We do social media kind of support, kind of get them ready for, you know, what that Washington Post article is going to look like. So they're not blinded when they come into high school and they have to deal with it. We have a freshman that's at Paul the Sixth right now, Trevor Kills. He was prepared. You know, he went through PYBL. He went through playing high-level basketball. So as a freshman, you know, there's papers all over, you know, over the post. They're on social media about his performance, but we've been seeing him do this since the 6th grade.
We've been preparing him for this year. We've been preparing for this for 6th grade. He's been with us for 3 years. His parents are real advocates of our league now because of what we've done for Trevor. And other kids, and Trevor's not the only one, a lot of kids like him because every kid doesn't go to private school. You know, we prepare them for the high school level period and just get them ready in all facets of the game as far as on and off the court, being able to handle a little bit of pressures. You know, people expect Trevor to really produce. And we would say, look, last year, you're the guy on your team, you got to produce. So when he gets into these situations now, it's nothing new.
Right.
He's ready for it. He's prepared for it. And that's just the goal we want to do. Just get kids better and help them get ready for that next level.
And I know y'all said high school coaches, you know, they come and recruit. What about the AAU programs? Like how kind of funny
that started later.
Yeah.
That wasn't there at first, but now 8th grade AAU is different now.
Right.
7th grade is like the last year of kid ball.
Exactly.
AAU is the 8th grade year is the year where they're preparing them for high school.
Right.
So it's funny you said that our playoffs last year, which is, you know, we had 82 coaches in the Gen 5 playoffs, 82 high school coaches in the Gen 5 playoffs. But even with that being said, you had like a group of takeover coaches in one corner, and on the direct corner on the opposite side of the ring, a group of team direct coaches. So what happened was 3 years ago, the 2020 class, Keith Stevens was the first one to do it. He really saw that we got all the kids. And so, you know, everybody has a trial in the fall for the 8th grade team. So we have all the talent. What he did was he brought Victor Oladipo to the gym, the Grant brothers. They come every year to our playoffs. You know, shake some hands, hey, good to see you type situation. And what happened was his 2020 class is the strongest class in the program now, and he built that team off of our championship. What that team is, what you're seeing in that 2020 class, which is Hunter Dickinson, Jeremy Roach, Terrence Williams Gonzaga, Earl Timberlake, that was the championship game in our league. Those were two teams. He put the best kids in both teams together, and that was his 8th grade team that year. It has gone on to where, 4 of them played 16s this year as 2020s. As sophomores this summer, about 4 or 5 of them are going to play 17s, and that was built from our league that summer. And since then, everybody's done it.
Oh, yeah, they behind now.
Yeah, they behind that. Everybody, Team Durant's doing a better job. They had like 7 coaches, like just sitting in one corner together.
You ain't gonna get
They built 2 teams. They did build 2 8th grade teams off of that, though, off our league. And the teams are pretty good. They got talent. But, I mean, if you want to go, we got all the best kids.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier. Yeah.
It makes sense, yeah. Tell us how a typical season is scheduled, and how do y'all decide which gym, you know, to hold the league at?
Well, I'll just say this about scheduling. This is a full-time job for us now. Neither one of us, we had to stop working because of pretty much scheduling. And what we got to do is to find out, we want all the best kids to be able to play. So in our league, we know all AU coaches now. We say, look, what is your schedule? We look at how many kids are on that particular team. Like if it's 4 kids on a team from an AU team, they're going somewhere the weekend. We don't have that team play. But, I mean, if it's 1, like, you might have to just bite the bullet on 1. But if it's like 4 of them, we just don't have that team play. So we got to cross-reference literally everybody's schedule in the area to find a time when these teams can play. That's why the schedule is only 8 games long. But for the wintertime, it goes from November to March. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to find time when everybody can be in the gym for that team. 'Cause we don't want kids to miss games. We want kids to be able to experience and play, and that takes a lot of planning and a lot of time. As far as schools, a lot of high schools want us in the gym because we have the kids. And, I mean, it's just like, whatever price is good. And who's available that day, who doesn't have a game. But at times it's a struggle. You know what I'm saying? We don't do this now because now everybody wants us there. But a couple years ago, it was like Thursday evening. We didn't have no place for games on Saturday. Like, we used to sweat. It used to be tough. But, I mean, now it's got a little easier.
Okay. Y'all currently, this y'all 5th season going on right now?
This is actually 5th year. It's actually our 9th season because we do summer or winter.
Okay, so 5th year. Mm-hmm. Okay, what adjustments have been made from year 1 to now?
More teams. The shot clock was something we added 3 years ago, I want to say.
So y'all ahead of the high school curve.
Yeah, we were ahead of them, man. Yeah, we were ahead of that.
Time,
and because of WCAC and our kids, again, preparing them for the next level, they play with the shot clock.
Exactly.
So we play with those rules. And I hated the end of games. There's nothing worse than the team playing zone and they're down and the other team just hold the ball for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just a game now. That's just horrible to me. I mean, as a coach, I would do it too. I mean, but as a spectator, I don't like seeing that. So, we don't give them 30, give them 35 seconds, a little more time to work with. But I just want the game to continue. When coaches in the gym don't want to see that. Right. You know what I'm saying? For example, we got a kid going to IMG next year from our league. They're coming up for our playoffs. IMG doesn't want to see somebody hold the ball for 3 minutes because they got a 4-point lead in the fourth quarter. They want to see kids play.
Right, make decisions. What are some alumni that have came through? I know you just mentioned, Dickinson and Timberlake and those guys.
Prentice Hub, we'll try to do seniors, I guess.
Notre Dame, yeah.
Prentice Hub's going to Notre Dame. Jared Bynum
Georgetown
is going to St. Joseph, Georgetown Prep. Vital Morse, who's at Bullets, played again in IC. He's going to Mount St. Joe's. Terrence Williams, Gonzaga, like we said, Hunter Dickinson, Jeremy Roach. Chuck Harris is the point guard at Gonzaga. Shea Evans in Baltimore. Marvin Price was player of the year in Baltimore last year. James Bishop's leading scorer. Isaiah Todd is ranked, number 3 in the country now in 2020.
That's tough.
Zion Harmon, who's ranked like 1 or 2 in the country in his class. If we can just, we can keep going.
So to sum it up, we've got 9 alumni. This is just on varsity. We have 10 at DeMatha. Right now we have 9 at Gonzaga.
Gonzaga has 13 players on the team. And
we have
the Gonzaga kids, all the ones that look like us. Lack of a better way to say it.
Personally responsible for that.
The ones that have similar features to us in this room. They played our league. The ones that do not are the ones that didn't
There's
play.
like 7 at Paul the 6th. There's like
Carol. I didn't even know Carol had 7 out of 10. Carol got 10 kids.
Carol has 8.
7.
No, 7 at Carol. But then you can also look at some of the public schools. For example, everybody's talking about Bowie, how they're doing well. So their transfer, Bobby Carson, he also played in PYBL.
The young sophomore that's playing really well on the team is from PYBL too.
Keyshawn Johnson.
Keyshawn Johnson?
No, Keyshawn's at Wise. And then, then we start getting to Baltimore City and Baltimore County. We get into the Catholic schools. We have St. Francis, Ace Baldwin.
We have a kid in every private school in IEC, BCL, WCAC. We have at least one at every school.
Am I double way too?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So our alumni list, we have an alumni page that we try to update as much as possible. It's tough to keep it updated, kids move around, but it's growing and it's exciting. And we started girls last winter, so our girls alumni are growing. We've got girls that are playing at Seton, we've got girls at Bullis, we've got girls at Dunbar.
We went to a Seton game a week ago.
Last
Tuesday, went to the Seton game. We had 2 girls playing JV. It was like, okay, cool. We're going to get in here, get out at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. We're going to go about our day. Then 2 girls from out of nowhere run up to us and say, hey, how y'all doing? We was like, dang, they play varsity.
Gotta stay longer.
Yeah, but I mean, we got kids. We got 3 little kids at home. So we was like, we're going to have to sneak out during stretches or something. So we able to get away. But I mean, we have so many kids, we don't even realize where all of them are anymore. We have the top kids in the area playing, so they're all over the place.
How proud of y'all of the impact, at the high school and college level when you sit back and just look at things? Because, I mean, you say you're in your 5th year, but I'm starting to see players that played in y'all league. Now they doing work in college now. It's not just high school. How proud of y'all of that?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see when you think of just us as an idea. People think like PYBL is a large conglomerate of people.
Right.
But pretty much 98% of the stuff you see is one of us doing it. So, I mean, it's pretty cool, man, to see so many kids, and we've able to help so many youth, so many of the youth, so many parents. Parents come to us when they make high school decisions now. We were able to talk to a couple of colleges and get them connected with kids. And, you know, Montverde in Florida, we talked to them about kids. IMG, we just put a kid there. And the math and all those, and they call us on a regular basis. One of the top schools in the area, I text him like 8 o'clock at night. I'm thinking he was done with practice. He was like, I'm in practice right now. I hit you right back. And this is a dude that, like, when I was coaching in high school in PG County, I wish this dude would have just knew me. You know what I'm saying? Like, be my friend. I want to be on your staff. And now he's like, I got to call you back. And he calls me back like at 9:30 at night. He's on his way home, and I'm on the phone with him. So it's kind of surreal that what we've done and the kids that we've reached. But it's an amazing feeling to do something like this.
Okay. You mentioned the girls side of things in the PYBL. You know, we cover, me and him, we cover all levels, in college, high school, college, all the way up to the pros. And the difference in resources for the women and girls compared to the boys is night and day. What are y'all ideas to kind of make sure that the girls are on the even playing field with the boys, you know, so they can, you know, use that as a platform?
Our issue with girls right now is they're behind. Like, AAU on the girls' side is at least 5 years behind the boys in what they're doing. And the parents, the coaches, they just listen to the coaches. Like, whatever the coach says, they do. And coaches, when we start off, are scared of us. They don't know what to expect. They think we're trying to take kids and things like that. So if a coach from the girls' side right now says, I don't want you to play, they're not going to play. Right. So, you know, it's kind of been breaking the barrier on that side for us and getting them just to play, really. Get them to play, and then now trying to get them the same exposure the boys get. It's been difficult, but we've done it. I don't think you see any league around this area that shows more coverage of girls than we do. And it still isn't good enough, but we try. Like, one example, we had a parent say, how come you don't show the girls as much? And we got to explain. We had 17 boys games this weekend and 4 girls games. It's going to be more boy stuff than girls, but even with them four games, the coverage we're having for girls is way more than what we've done for, you know what I'm saying, anybody else has done. So, I mean, I agree. They need a lot more exposure. They need a lot more help on that side, and we're trying a little bit at a time. The girls' side, this is just our 3rd season, so it's still a work in progress. This season, we do have a large number of the talented girls in the area playing. I think this is the best season we've had talent-wise on that side. But it's a work in progress, man. The girls, we're trying to get them to catch up. Right. But, you know, they're so ingrained with their AAU programs. You know, the boys' side, you know, you get a dad say, ain't nobody going to tell me what to do with my son. they love that. Nobody tell me what to do with my son. He going to play. That's not on the girls' side. Yeah. Not on the girls' side because they don't have as much exposure, don't have as many things to do. So what their AAU coach says, he could be just a dad, but you know, to them, he's the AAU coach and he knows what to do more than anybody else, which is false most of the time. But, I mean, it's tough. Like, the girls' side is tough.
It's only a matter of time because we saw the St. John's Paul VI game.
Man.
It was a college environment.
I was sitting home doing nothing, watching the movie with my wife. He texted me. I'm like, oh, okay, turn it on. I was mad at him that he didn't text me at the beginning of the game. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed the game. Like,
well, Angie's special.
Yeah.
Kawusa, yeah.
Tough.
She's special.
Her and Fudd was going at it, man. I love that. But my last question for both of you, what can we look forward to in the future of the PYBL?
Just continue growth. I wanted to expand, but then it's kind of.
I was about to ask you that too. Like, will y'all expand all the way to Western Maryland with Allegheny?
Well, we'll expand in Maryland, but the thing is, people have talked to us about expanding like to New York, California, Georgia. But the thing with that is, what we worry about with that is who's going to run it out there.
Exactly.
We do, like you said, 98% of what we do is us. And to have somebody else, like we had 2 gyms at Murray, and somebody ran the gym at Murray, and that gym was ugly. You know what I'm saying? People were mad about that. Like, a lady had a cast on her leg and ran downstairs at Murray to come get me because something was wrong in the gym. And that can't be done if it's in New York or Chicago or something like that. So for us to expand, it's got to be somebody that's been around us and knows there's a certain way we do things. We play music at our game, like in between timeouts, music, things like that. Stop clock on everything, shot clocks, the exposure, media-wise exposure, things we do with that. It's difficult to do. Scheduling, like we have everybody's AAU schedule. We used to have a wall in our house with AAU schedules on it and who's playing when. You know what I'm saying? Our daughter wakes up at night. She woke up one morning. She's 2. She turned 3 today, actually. She woke up and said, Daddy, did you get the jerseys? Like, what?
In the middle of her sleep.
Yeah, it's like a Wednesday.
That's the future. That's the future.
That's you know what I'm saying? It's just our family. We are the PYBL. My mom's at the door. what I'm saying? Everybody knows my mom. She's at the door, turns running around. I'm in the gym, turns, whatever's going on outside gym, she has that. And a former player of mine is one of our top coaches, and he helps us out. And his girlfriend helps us, and that's the staff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's on a regular basis, that's it. So for us to go somewhere else, like, who's going to do it?
I'm just saying. Keep it low, man. I love it. Go ahead.
I just want to say congrats on the success thus far. We wish you both continued success
Thank you.
going forward. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we have plenty more. Our guests are still going to be with us because you guys can't leave until you do rapid fire. Everybody has to go through rapid fire. No show here is complete without it. You guys are watching The Focus, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back. Welcome back to The Focus. Thank you so much for tuning in again on this wonderful Tuesday. And I'm just going to get straight to it. Super Bowl 52 was this past Sunday, February 4th, in Minnesota. Of course, if you don't know by now, I don't know where you've been, but the Patriots played the Eagles, and it went as so. So, Patriots versus the Eagles were victorious, 41-33. I'm going to start with the Patriots stats. Tom Brady was 28-48, 505 yards, 3 touchdowns. James White had 7 carries, 45 yards, 1 touchdown. Danny Amendola, 8 receptions, 152 yards. Chris Hogan, 6 receptions, 128 yards. And Rob Gronkowski, 9 receptions, 116 yards. But it wasn't enough. So, Nick Foles was, and before I even start this part, I'm gonna give you a disclaimer. I am a little bit petty when I get to this part, so just bear with me. Nick Foles was 28 of 43, 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Trey Burton was 1 for 1 on passing for 1 yard and 1 touchdown. Just throw that out there. LeGarrette Blount, 14 carries, 90 yards, 1 touchdown. Chris Clemens, 4 receptions, 100 yards, 1 touchdown. Nelson Aguilar, 9 receptions, 84 yards. Alshon Jeffries, 3 receptions, 73 yards, 1 touchdown. Zach Ertz, 7 receptions, 67 yards, 1 touchdown. And Nick Foles, 1 reception, 1 yard for 1 touchdown. And 1 Philly special. I don't really have much to say about the game because we won and the season is over, and I get to make fun of Damo for the entire summer. and every other Redskin fan and any other team that's in the NFC East, just, you might not want to talk to me this summer because it's finally over. I don't want to hear, oh, y'all don't have no Super Bowls. I don't want to hear it anymore. And I'm looking directly at you, Dama. I don't want to hear it anymore. It's over. A backup came through in the end, although, Foles, I mean, it kind of puts us in a predicament now a little bit. Do we let him go? Do we keep him? He still has a year left. I think about $7 million left on his contract. Nah, I didn't say that. Wentz isn't going anywhere. Of course, he's going to be the franchise, but it's going to be a tough sell to let him go as a backup. But you got to think about it as far as letting him go as a, go on and go forth in the league and see if he can do anything else. So, yeah, Super Bowl champs. That's all I got. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on The Focus.
Welcome back to The Focus. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thus far, I hope you guys enjoyed our guest segment this evening. Had a great time talking to the founders of the PYBL. Truly enjoyed it. All right, so we got a little bit left before we jump into rapid fire because no show here is complete without it. All guests are subject to rapid fire. I don't know what Cardell has cooked up tonight.
I know, I'm trying to look on his screen, but...
Man, there's good luck with that. You just got to take that. I gave up. You come in here, you figure out what happens, and that's pretty much it. So the Washington Wizards ended up being the topic of national media today due to, some of those wonderful shows that come on in the morning. I don't typically watch them. Got a text from Cardell, so, turned it on real quick. And just nonsense was shared today about the Wizards. They're in the midst of a 4-game win streak. They're playing Philadelphia tonight. They host the Celtics with a chance to go up in that season series 2-0 on Thursday. Obviously, John Wall is still out. John Wall had a couple interviews today, 2 on ESPN, 1 on CSNBC. I think that's what it's called now. And just a lot's been said. We heard at the start of the show, we were in the locker room when the Brad Beal press conference with the everybody eats thing. He's quoting a movie. It wasn't that deep. People took it to a place it didn't need to go. We had the quartet, the tweet with the quotations with good team win and everybody going nuts. So to keep it really simple, the Wizards are not, better without their franchise players.
Yeah, because they're getting drugged right now, so just go ahead.
Oh, wow. See,
37-16 the first.
Awesome. Who they playing?
Sixers.
I mean, I knew that.
Coming off the Super Bowl, that
yeah, I knew that.
JoJo and B probably going
realistic.
crazy.
You're not gonna go undefeated without Wall. Like, let's be for real. That it had to, take it. Somebody, come on, man.
Yeah, I think that's a crazy thing. Just been hearing it. Then hearing other supposedly reputable folks, jump out there and get behind it. But Cardell, your thoughts on it? I mean, I know we talked already, but
right. I just think it's nonsense, especially if you've never been to a game. You haven't been to a game yet. You haven't really interacted with the team, the players, and stuff to really understand and see what the chemistry is like or whatnot. Bottom line, the reason why the Wizards were struggling is because they didn't bring the same effort and intensity game in, game out. They played the top teams one way, then the ball feeders, they thought they could just come in there and play, and then they got beat. So I think the winning streak shows that they understand they have less room for error, so they better come to play. Otherwise, it's going to be even worse, and then heads going to roll by the trade deadline. They're going to get rid of some people. And then they was getting crucified the past couple of weeks, saying they need to step up and all that. So when Wall went down, it was like, what is going to do? I mean, what are y'all going to do? Y'all either going to go in the tank or y'all going to rise to the occasion. So far, they've risen to the occasion. I know they down big to the Sixers right now, 37-18. But, like I said, I'm not looking for them to be undefeated. When I'm looking for them to just hold it down till he can get back, because they're not going anywhere without him, especially against the top team, especially in the playoffs where a lot of these guys that are doing well right now haven't even really played major minutes in that part of the season where, everybody locking down on you, scouting reports catching up. It's a different season. So that's when he will be able to shine. Hopefully he's healthy and ready to go. But the thing I like about the winning streak is that they played, the team aspect was really emphasized. I'm looking at it, I really went back and just looked at everything. One thing that they're not getting enough credit for is their defense. They held opponents through their 5-game winning streak to 37% shooting. And they also averaged 32 assists a game with a high of 40 assists coming against the Hawks. The team averages 24 assists for the season, which is 5th in the league, while the rest of the league averages 21 assists a game. The best team in the league at assists is 30, and that's by the Warriors. So that kind of gives you an idea of how well they're moving the ball. We all know how deadly the Warriors are when they're moving the ball. It's pretty much lights out. So that, that formula is something that they could build off even when Wall comes back. And, the Wizards during that win streak are averaging only 11 turnovers a game, which is crazy. When the league averages about 14, and the Wizards average that, and that makes them 18 in the league. And that's something like with Wall, he kind of got to get better at when he gets back. And also, like he admitted today, stop gambling on defense, play more sound defense. So hopefully with the health, improvement, he could be able to do that. But like I said, it's minor things. I always say it's up to them. Sometimes everybody always talking like making these magical trades and stuff, man. Go get Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, stuff like just crazy stuff. Man, sometimes you just got to get it done. No one saw the Warriors coming till they just came out of nowhere and got it done. And that was before KD got there. Spurs build their own. They draft well, they build guys up, and that's what it is. I mean, I think Aldridge, their first major free agent signing
in quite a while.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So those are the two standards right now in basketball. I mean, I'm not going to add the cat because they add free agents every year, but those are the two standards where it's consistently every year they're in the mix. Let these guys keep building and whatnot, and hopefully something will come from it, down the line. If not, then you know what you got to do.
Yeah, my only two add-ons to that, I agree with you hardly, is the growth of Tomas Satoransky. This is something that you and I both told everybody when we were down in Richmond for training camp. We told everybody to be on the lookout for this. Neither you or I are shocked about this at all. He gives the Wizards kind of that Sean Livingston-esque type vibe where it's a bigger point guard. You can play him with John and Brad. We've seen him at times close some games with those two, and with John down, I don't think people realize just how athletic this kid is.
He probably the best athlete,
we've seen Russell Westbrook out of the explosion, crazy. Russ, usually when Russ gets by people, it's over. It's lights out, he's by you, there's no recovering. It was just one play, but he gets by Tomas not only recovers, he elevates the block, his shot. Doesn't happen to Russ quite often. And Tomas is only going to get better on ball defense as soon as he get used to playing starting point guards. You're coming off the bench on a regular basis, you're seeing other teams' second unit guys. Point guard league right now is crazy. It's war every night at that position, so he's only going to get better. And then as you say with the defense, man, it's just huge. And one of the things that, again, bringing with Tomas, him not gambling sets the tone as your point guard, not taking those chances. Everybody else is in place. Those rotations a little bit crisper. And they're able to, they're already a long athletic team. So, it's paid dividends thus far. All right, so rapid fire, sir. The floor is yours.
Okay. Let's start with, I guess, Patriots DB Malcolm Butler was benched for the team rules violation, bad practices, and illness, according to reports. Did y'all agree with Belichick for benching him?
If he didn't play, because what I heard on the radio earlier today, he was out with Rick Ross the night before. Okay. If that's the case, I completely agree with the coach. Right. He wasn't focused on what he was doing, and he did what's best for the team. Belichick didn't try to lose. So, you know what I'm saying? I think that he did what was best. He had to do something. He didn't just bench him for no reason. That's not – Belichick wants to win Super Bowls. That's what he does. So I think that he benched him for a reason. I was fine with it.
What he said.
Should I even answer?
Oh man.
It was an amazing decision. Thank you very much to both of you.
I forgot. I was trying
yeah,
to
we
go
can
ahead.
skip that.
Thank you.
It's controversial because I've heard that too, the reports that he was, in violation of team rules. I've also heard, he's come out to make his defense that none of that was true. You showed me the screenshot of Tom Brady. He liked the IG post and said something about Malcolm being a good friend and teammate and all that other stuff. I hate to say it, I don't care either way, just because this is what the Patriots do. They've done this for years. This is how their dynasty is built. When they literally have no use for you, your time's up. It is what it is. It just so happened it was a Super Bowl. It's hard for me to say that it'd be the same issue if they won. If they won, I'm guaranteeing you, no one's talking about any of this.
Care. Yeah.
Like, we're talking about Tom getting his 6th ring. But since they lost, all of a sudden Malcolm Butler matters. All of a sudden that's the biggest thing. And not to knock him, I'm just looking at Matt Patricia. You just got a head coaching job. You're the defense coordinator for the Pats. You couldn't get a stop. Yeah. Like, Malcolm Butler isn't the sole reason your defense didn't do anything for an entire football game. You got outcoached by Doug Peterson from start to finish. So the Malcolm Butler issue, it's just not that deep to me. They tried to trade him last year. They gave Stephon Gilmore his money that he thought he was going to get 2 years ago. You're not going to be a Patriot, so let's just skip all the drama part, and it is what it is.
I'm with you, man. Like you said, I think I read somewhere they only punted one time. You only punted one. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Super Bowl, that's
you didn't get like there wasn't a sack until the last 2 minutes of the game or whatever.
Yeah, when they won the game. Okay. Well, it won't happen tonight, but the Cavs have lost 8 of their last 12. According to reports, they had a trade for DeAndre Jordan denied. Do you still believe the Cavs will come out the East? Since you asked, come on, Eagle fan.
Oh yeah, since you sat up the last one.
It's always such a touchy subject when it comes to that because it's LeBron. At the end of the day, and y'all know I'm not a huge LeBron fan, but I respect his game and what he's done for the game. But it's getting harder and harder to believe it. But there's always still that one little, voice in the back of your head like they can get it together. But it looks pretty dismal. I know they have reports coming out saying that, he's cussing out execs. He didn't want Kyrie to get traded. Dan Gilbert's trying to, get rid of his friends. Like, they're trying to let go of Smith and Thompson and everything. So it sounds like it's a lot of turmoil going on. But I think they also did say that LeBron said he's not waiving his no-trade clause, so he will stay for the remainder of the season at least. It's tough to say that they will. To me, it's the East is stronger, of course, this year, so it's a harder feat for them this year. But I don't know. It's a toss-up for me. It's still hard to say no all the way, but it's like a 30% chance they might still come out.
I mean, I think that how could you count against LeBron as January? I'd be more worried if it was like, late February or March or something like that. But it's January. It's before the All-Star break. And LeBron's been in the championship, in the NBA Finals for how many years in a row now?
Like 6 or 7 or maybe 8.
Like 8.
Like that.
I think it's like 8.
Yeah.
So, until somebody beats them, it's really hard for me to say that they're not going to be there again. I think they have a lot of time to get things together. And for LeBron right now, it's probably getting a little boring this time of year. He's shown he can turn it on, and he's LeBron in the East. Not, in the East, he's dominated the East for a long time now. And until somebody beats him, I can't say that he's going to lose.
Yeah, I'm kind of at that place. It's like I do think their roster is deeply flawed. Like, I think this is the most flawed roster they've had. I think this is the most chinks in the armor we've seen since this current Cleveland team's been put together. I think there's a lot of just with the personality meshes that don't fit. There's a lot of stuff on the court that just doesn't fit. That being said, they are the reigning champs in the East until proven otherwise. But I definitely feel like this is one of the years if you go the Cavs or the field finally, I can't fault you for taking the field.
I mean, I think, like you said, he earned the benefit of the doubt. But I feel like they're in trouble, and it's not really often. It's not about him. He still can do what he do. It's about that team. And one thing I look at when they had issues in the past, whatever, it was usually offense. Shots not falling, stuff you could fix. Now it's defensive chemistry, and it hasn't been good at all. Like I look when we first started the show, they were up 20 on Orlando. I'm like, all right, they doing handling business. Now I look up, they up one, 86-85 on Orlando. It's a repeated pattern. At some point, you gotta look at it like, it is what it is. Like if it walks like a dog, and I'm just being real. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like you said, they're wounded. And the East should look at it like we could take them. Now, if they come out the East again, I got to look at all these superstars, Kyrie, John Wall, Greek Freak. I'm like, y'all suspect now. I'm like, this dude, he basically handed the East to y'all right now. Y'all still couldn't take it? So, it's a wait and see. Like I said, to me, it's up and down. It's about 50-50 right now because it's not about him. He going to do what he do. It's about can the other guys rise to the occasion because he can't win it by himself. And that's just... the simple fact of the matter is, and we gonna see, man. Like you said, the East is better. They're hungry. They tired of this dude winning, so they're gonna come forward. But they gotta go take it, and until proven otherwise, it is what it is. Mississippi State women's remain undefeated at 24-0 after dominating defending national champions South Carolina 67-53. Can they challenge UConn?
No.
I was like, look right at you.
It's cool. I'm not trying to be funny. Mississippi State women's team is a very good team. This is not last year's UConn team. It's a much deeper team. It's a bigger team. It's just a different team, and it's not the knock Mississippi State in the least bit. Yeah, I'm a UConn fan, but everybody knows me. I'll tell you the truth. Last year was one of the worst UConn teams they've had, the last 4 or 5 year stretch. And I was clamoring for them. I counted maybe 4 L's. They just didn't happen early in the season. I thought Maryland women's had the chance. Was it last year, the year before?
Last year, not this year. That was
last
year.
With
Destiny, not this year.
Yeah, with Destiny. My bad. With Destiny, Bree, and Shatori. And again, as a UConn fan, I had Maryland coming out of it last year. I thought they had enough to do it just because that UConn team, it was literally a bunch of odd wings and
It's like they
guards.
was waiting for this year to come.
Yes, yes.
Let's get through this one.
I saw them live 2 times last year. You looked on the bench and it's oh, that's where everybody is?
Mm-hmm.
And then now you see it. And again, no knock on Mississippi State. It's just levels to everything. You got the best high school player in the country out this class, literally coming off the bench right now, Connecticut. Amazing. She's gonna get to where she needs to get to by the end of the year. Those special girls at that school typically do. They're not close to what they're gonna look like later on this year. Again, congrats to Mississippi State. They've done a great job this year. They're clearly the second best team in the country. But they ain't got a chance.
I agree. You said everything.
Yeah, I don't think they can beat them this year. Plus, with them beating them last year, it's extra motivation now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got a mad and talented UConn team. That's going to be dangerous. I don't see them beating them. I don't see them beating them.
And imagine, he ain't going to.
Yeah,
I knew it was a wrap last year when they lost and he smiled. I was like, oh, yeah, next year's going to be fun. He just chuckled wait till next year.
All right. Following the Super Bowl loss, Rob Gronkowski said he will reflect on his future and won't commit to 2018. Is it him just being in the moment or something seriously on his mind?
I'm going to have to say just being in the moment. I think he's just waiting to see what everybody else is going to do. Is Bill going to leave, even though they have reports saying he's going to stay now? Josh McDaniels turned down the position at the Colts now, so he's going to stay. Tom Brady saying he's staying. I don't see any real reason why he would. I don't feel like he's had a drop off as far as physicality. So I don't, unless it's a mental thing for him. That's the only thing I could think of.
Not play injuries. Piling up the injuries about.
Well, probably. That I guess, but to me, it still hasn't been significant enough where I feel like he has missed significant time, year after year. But nobody knows but him how he feels about it. I think it was an emotional thing at the moment. I think it was probably, just the emotions of losing and trying to, pull it together. But I'm pretty sure he'll be back next year.
He is messing up football fantasy in my house.
I draft Gronk every year. And
I had him too, though.
Every
he
season.
is messing up us winning that fantasy.
Yeah, I think Gronk.
So I think
he better come back and redeem himself.
Gronk loves life a lot. You know what I'm saying? Being out in the street and being out with professional young ladies. Gronk has a good time.
I like that.
Gronk, he's wrestling, like what I'm saying. Then you pile on the injuries. He's a young man with money. I think I'm not saying he would do. He's definitely thinking about it. Like Gronk got a lot going on outside of football. He doesn't seem like a guy that's just straight football. It seems like he's somebody that plays it because he's good at it. He's
Probably,
huge. Yeah. He's athletic, but he has a lot of different things that he likes to do. So I mean, I don't see why he's not thinking about not coming back.
So you like Gronk need to come back?
You gotta redeem himself.
Man, Gronk, I
fantasy
had
football
Gronk
is
like
real.
3 seasons.
I'm not saying that.
And he kills when he play, but then when he out, like, how am I find another tight end in free agency?
None.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen,
you
just
got to
like-
hold on to them
There's nothing
to
on-
dear life.
I thought you were gonna say he dunking that wreck after that hit from Malcolm Jenkins. He like, I don't want no more.
I don't want to play no more.
I thought he was about to go there. He was about to say that. Like I'm like, that. My man was out. Okay.
I think it might just be the injuries, though. Like, I think he might seriously consider it. And like you said, he has so much other stuff going on. It's not like he's going to be like, oh, what do I do with my time?
Right, what I do with my life?
Like, he's going to go to WWE, get a multi-million-dollar contract, and fake get hurt.
Fake get hurt, jump off a ladder
How
or
old is
something.
Gronk now?
Like, I don't,
He's not that old.
He
He's not
might
his
be
30s,
30.
is he?
He got to be in
like
the
maybe
league.
at times,
He
maybe.
got to be around that. Yeah,
Like,
he
maybe.
been in the league for a
Let's
minute.
see.
Maybe.
Duke has went 2-2 in their last 4 games. Their latest loss coming from St. John's, who are on a 13-game losing streak. Our team's starting to figure out the Blue Devils.
I love Duke. I say that first. They're getting bored. That's what I think. I think every team they play is the game of the year for that team. And I mean, they had off. I didn't see the St. John's game, so I can't really speak on that. We were in the gym, but I mean, losing to St. John's, they're a much more talented team. And that's telling me those young men are getting a little antsy right now. When St. John's, it was their Super Bowl. That game was their Super Bowl. That was their biggest game of the year. But Duke is Duke. They'll be ready for the tournament. Coach K will have them ready. They're talented as ever. I love Duke, so I'm not going to talk bad about Duke.
Continue.
I mean, it's a regular season loss. It's not that deep to me. You know, if they lose in the first round of the tournament, boy, I got memes and jokes to fly. But I'm not concerned at this moment. It's just, but with that type of talent, it's low key unacceptable to lose to St. John's.
I get it.
It's not the end of the world to me. I'm not like
You still dealing with 18, 19.
Yeah, and that's why I said it's not the end of the world to me.
Playing St. John's, who's lost 13 straight.
Nah, I mean, it ain't about St. John's. It's just a 2-2. I mean, for me, I think teams are focusing more on Bagley, and they saying everybody else beats him. One thing about that loss to St. John's, Grayson Allen only had 3 points. Like, he been off. He's the upperclassman. He got to step up. It ain't about, he got to be the, upperclassman leader he should be, and he's kind of been up and down lately. But like you said, and then all season long, it ain't the talent offensively. That defense, man, they haven't been. It's probably one of the worst defensive Duke teams I've seen in a while. Like, they just going zone. I've never seen a Duke team go zone unless somebody just really lighten them up or something. They usually go man-to-man strap dudes. But like you said, they'll be there at the end. They got too many wins. They got a big one against North Carolina, I think, Thursday. Tomorrow. So, North Carolina been up and down, so that'll be in the, game. But, arguably the number 1 pick on the team. You got a couple other lottery picks, possibly. They're going to do a lot of damage and stuff like that. But if they want to try to win it, they got to straighten up their defense. Right. That's the only reason why St. John's won. Shamari Farms went off. He had like 30. You know what I'm saying? They point guard, so that can't happen, especially in the tournament. Guards go off in the tournament. So,
lifeblood.
Yeah, so they got to stop all that. So Trayvon Duval and all that, they got to figure out something. Georgetown pushed number 6 Xavier to the limit. 23 points, 9 rebounds from Jesse Govan, 21 points, 9 rebounds from Marco Pickett, freshman, out of Eastern, and 19.15 rebound performance from Marcus Derrickson, but fell in overtime 96-91. The Hoyas, for the most part, this season have been more competitive than previous years. Do you feel like Patrick Ewing has them moving in the right direction?
Yes, for my short answer.
Hard to tell year one until he really gets his guys in. Like you said, they've been better than they have been the last couple of years. But Thompson lost the team, though. So it's kind of hard to judge against that, in my opinion. He kind of lost the team with his style of play. Right. And the kids really didn't start buying in. They haven't really bought in since, Jeff Green days back then when they really were getting it done, I think. You know what I'm saying? Since then. Well, they had a couple players after that.
The Chris Wright team.
Yeah, Chris Wright was good. But that was still 2010, 2011, 2012, around that time. Since then, they really haven't done much. So, it's better than what it was. But he needs his coaching staff, they need a younger staff to really get to these kids.
I don't know. I gotta give it time because I see him in the gym. Like when I'm
He's definitely in the gym. He's definitely in the gym.
But my thing with them is he gotta get them in there, and we won't know. Like you said, we won't know until he start getting his players in there. But the fact that he took somebody else's players and they're being more competitive, I'm just like, at least you got moving in the right direction. That means something because they could just implode. Like they could be like, man, 9 wins or something like that, and just losing by 20 every game. But you know, I like how he challenging them and stuff like that. So I mean, like you said, time will tell. I hope people don't start like next year or something. You need to get fired.
Yeah, that's
like, man, give it time.
I think from a recruiting standpoint, I mean, we saw staff in the gym this past summer, and some of his staff members were sleeping in the gym.
They
all
you don't really have anybody that really relates. Like a friend of ours helped him get Pickett in there, but outside of that, his staff wise really hasn't done a lot. They were there. You know what I'm saying? They were there, but they was just like wishing they were somewhere else.
I'm sorry.
They were so disinterested in what was going on.
All right, I just had I had a quick answer on Georgetown and a couple notes before we close. So first, I want to thank you guys both for coming in, and tell everybody definitely get out to check the PYBL action out every. You guys got stuff going on this weekend, and they can get over to your site, correct? All right. Mystics and DC United news real quick. The Mystics been a little bit busy. WNBA free agency started earlier last week. They signed Devereaux Peters. They re-signed Aja Taylor, Tiana Hawkins, LaToya Sanders. Cardell, you was asking about her. She's back. And Allison Hightower. So LaToya was out for a year with a foot injury. So she took a year off to get it back, and she'll be back on the team this season. DC United, told you guys before, they've been busy trading assets for more money to try to get more players. They're currently down in Clearwater, Florida for training camp. They acquired today $500,000 in targeted allocation money from Toronto FC for $225,000 general allocated money. They're going to use that money to sign a player that to be named later. There's a name floating around, but I don't want to get in trouble and put that out there. So DC United acquired O'Neal Fisher from the Seattle Sounders for $150,000 in guaranteed allocated money. So told you guys they've been busy to try to rebound from a horrible season last year. I want to thank you guys for watching The Focus. As always, get over to Finance Magazine and my mind on sports, and we'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place.